Hello, I am Jan from Prague, the Czech Republic, and in this video we will take a closer look at the Samsung A56 and see what it can do in photography. This phone comes from a popular, almost legendary lineup known for good performance at a reasonable price. As always, I will walk you through around 150 photos I have taken from mountains and parks to the sun-soaked city streets. I suggest we start with the overview of lenses and sensors. That is the first one, the main lens, main sensor. It has 23mm and 50 megapixels. Typically, it would be the key tool for the most important part of your photography. It means for family and travel photos. What should be said, of course, is that that mobile phone does not have any lens for zooming. So typically, if you want to zoom, you need to do it with the digital zoom. And we'll get to it in a couple of minutes. This is just a very brief set of examples to get you some first impression from that lens, from that sensor. Evening shots and some shots from Mine Museum outside of Prague, and some details from quite interesting guy who was telling us everything we wanted to know, and finally a couple of shots from the beautiful mountains from Moravia and South Bohemia. Then we have the second lens, second sensor, which is ultra wide. It has 13mm and 12 megapixels, and it will serve for shots like that when you need to squeeze a lot of information into the frame, like the cities, the rooms in castles like here. That tree is really so big that I was quite happy to have ultra wide. One more example of the garden and the lens and sensor. Then we have the third lens, third sensor, which is for macro photography. It has 25mm and only 5 megapixels. And this is quite important because, frankly, do not expect much from that lens. Honestly, I was not using it in any of the previous generations. I was somehow hoping that Samsung would improve the quality of that, but it didn't happen. So even in A56, do not expect much. But it can get some shots, but the quality just will not be exciting. What was exciting for me, on the other hand, was one really important improvement. And it's the fact that Samsung added possibility to zoom in portrait mode. It might sound boring, but it's actually extremely important, because if you are a professional photographer, you know that you have to zoom to face of a person to do a proper portrait, and it was not possible. Finally, Samsung added that feature here, and it's incredibly important if you know what you are doing. So this would be the normal shot, normal angle, and now I am able to zoom in the portrait mode, which means that I am able to produce real portraits, not only of people, but also of dogs or cats or anything you want. Of course, you might say that, yes, I am able to zoom in the normal mode. Yes, you can, but still, this is the normal mode. And this is the portrait mode, and you know that the ability to blur the background is just amazing. Plus, as I mentioned, now you are able to zoom in it and produce quite amazing shots, like the shot of that puppy. So if you ask me, what is the simple most important news about the new generation of Samsungs, I would definitely say the ability to zoom in the portrait mode. When we speak about zooming, why don't we just see some examples of what to expect in that respect? Yes, you see that you can start from 0.5, meaning ultra wide lens, and then we can go through 1, 2, 4, up to 10. And of course, as we know, there is no optical zoom to do it. So if we zoom to 10, it will be really a very deep digital zoom. We can see it here on this example, ultra wide, 1, 2, 4, 10, and now the quality really goes dramatically down, but still you can probably use it if you want. Quite often I'm asked, do the more expensive phones really bring higher quality of photos? And although I really like these, well, affordable mobile phones like A56. If you now see these shots from the flagship S25 Ultra, yes, this is a very different world, very different quality. So yes, on the one hand, A56 and mobiles like that can deliver really good results, and I really like them because they open photography for many more people. But still, yes, there would always be quite important limit to what we can expect from mid-range phones. And well, as I said, this is just a very quick comparison with the flagship of Samsung S25 Ultra. One more important question I am being asked all the time is, shouldn't I just go with the last generation, meaning A55? And for many years, I would say yes, of course. The quality is very similar, the movement ahead is not dramatic, and you can see it here on these examples. This is from London, where I took last year A55. And yes, I mean, you would not be able to say that that generation moved ahead dramatically. The quality would be very similar, but you already know that I really like the ability to zoom in the portrait mode. So if you need to take shots of people, I would say just go for A56. If you don't care about portrait, well, A55 or even probably A54 would still do really good for you. And now we opened a very quick overview of another couple of dozens of photos, and this is quite famous castle just outside of Prague. It's called Lani, and it's the official residence of our president, and it's open to the public, so it's quite interesting to visit it. And again, I am going very quickly through these examples. Please do not be too critical for being that quick, but I just really wanted you to get some feeling about the shots. I really wanted you to see what should you expect from that mobile phone. If you buy it, what sort of results would you be getting? And as you can see from these examples, again, as I already said, if you do not need to zoom, then you probably be quite alright with the quality, because it's not bad at all. It's quite nice, quite impressive. I already told you, yes, of course, if you want another level, then you need another level of phones. But still, I was quite satisfied. And I always tell people that one of the biggest revolutions in the photography, not only in the mobile photography, is the simple fact that the cheaper mobile phones are getting better and better, meaning more and more people can do good shots. And for me, it's just amazing. So some more shots from the park. And this is a statue of our first president, Mr. Masaryk, who was the creator of Czechoslovakia, what is now Czech Republic and Slovakia, in 1918. An example of night shots in Prague. And again, I have to say, one of the great advantages of pretty much any mobile phone is that it's capable of great night shots, and A56 can do it as well. Back to the daylight, back to the Museum of Old Mines just outside of Prague, and I just took it there and I wanted to test it, and the light was amazing and the colors were amazing. And I was even able to take some shots in the mine as such, and that amazing guy who is a guide in the museum allowed me to use his photo. So thank you, and of course thank you for amazing set of information. And these are really old machines, which I was amazed to hear never broke down. And good place to test it. An ultra-wide look at old factory outside of Prague, and some flowers, some grass in the forests. And now we jumped to my favorite Moravian mountains, the White Carpathian Mountains. And the reason is I wanted to show you some more examples of colors and flowers and so on. And of course, if you want to have a great results, you should be able to tell when the conditions are perfect, because then you will get really nice results. And final set of shots is from southern Bohemia, from that amazing landscapes, which I really love. The light was not exciting, but you can still feel that the mobile phone did quite a decent job. And finally, beautiful old historic city and a bit of nice light and nice colors and nice details. So once again, I really feel that once you know how to use that mobile phone in good light for situations which are not extremely hard to capture, you won't be disappointed, which is really important. And finally, a couple of examples of video recordings. As always, I apologize a bit because I am really not good at evaluating video clips. So the best thing I can do is to collect a couple of them and let you to decide if you like them or not. All of them are in 4K, in 30 frames per second, and typically you are getting what you would be expecting to get from that category of mobile phone. So you definitely, again, will not be disappointed, but, well, flagships would get you much further. So thank you so much for your attention. I hope I gave you some inspiration. Take care. I am Jan from Prague, the Czech Republic.